In this lesson, we are talking about recount prompts and how to structure your response to them. The first question is, what even are recount prompts? Well, recount or recount means to tell a story from your past. So in essence, recount prompts ask you to tell about a past experience that you had in your life, and then to reflect on that experience and talk about how it changed you or the world. So here are some examples. Describe a time you learned how to do something new. What did you learn? How did you learn it? Write about a personal goal you have achieved. How did you work towards this goal? And how did it make you feel once you achieved it? Talk about a memorable experience you had with art, such as visiting a museum, attending a concert, or creating your own artwork. What made it memorable for you? All three of these examples, you can see that you're being asked to tell a story from your past and then to reflect on that experience. So, to structure your responses to recount prompts, you need to think about two parts: your story and your reflection. This is the essence of the structure, okay? Just these two parts here. For your story, you're going to talk about what happened. So, like any story, you should start at the beginning, go to the middle, and finish at the end. There's nothing complicated here. Just tell a clear, logical story. So, in other words, just be sure to move chronologically, right? Talk about what happened first, then talk about what happened after, and so on. If you jump around in time, your story gets confusing. So keep it simple, keep it clear. Start at the beginning, move to the middle, and then go to the end. For longer questions, you should add more detail in your story. So really describe where the events took place and describe who you were with. Other details like that are going to enable you to fill up your response, which will be important for longer speaking questions like the speaking sample, where you have to speak for 3 minutes. For shorter questions, you won't have as much time and therefore less room for detail. So you won't need to describe in so much detail where you were or who you were with and things like that. So knowing how much detail you should include in your responses is something you will have to feel out for yourself by practicing questions of different lengths, because it depends on how fast you can write and speak. So if you can type quickly and if you speak quickly, then obviously you can put more words in your response and therefore you'll need more details. But if you don't speak as quickly or you don't write as quickly, you'll be able to generate fewer words in the same amount of time, and so you'll need fewer details. Again, this is something you will get a feel for as you go through practice questions. The second part of your response is your reflection. In short, what was the outcome of the experience? Or how did the experience change you or the world? The final aspect that you need to be mindful of is that you should be sure to address any specific aspects in the prompt. All right? Duolingo wants to see that you are fully and directly addressing the prompt that you are given. And Duolingo usually will include specific aspects that they want you to address in your story and or your reflection. For example, write about a personal goal you have achieved. How did you work towards this goal? And how did it make you feel once you achieved it? So how did you work towards this goal is a specific aspect that you need to address in your story. What are the steps you took to complete that goal? And then, how did it make you feel once you achieved it is what you need to talk about in your reflection. Here's another example. Describe a time when you had to make a decision about spending money. What did you decide to buy and why? Were you happy with your decision? So what did you decide to buy and why is what you need to focus on in your story. How did you decide to buy that particular thing? And then in your reflection, you need to think about whether buying that thing made you happy or not.